Checkity, checkity, check. Sounding good as usual. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, and it'll probably be few and far in between for a little while now, but that's okay, because I'm still here. I'm still alive. It's just, things have slowed down a little bit, doing some other work, and just bringing home that bread like everybody else, I suppose. So, we got some sowce today. Some stuff, hey, things that I was already talking about. And what am I promoting today? MrSotko, what are you promoting today? And that's going to be A1 sauce. Let me just show you how you give it a good shake. You always give your sowce a good shake. And like the mustard, that was good for the stash. A1 is good for the soul. Woo! Woo! I'll tell you what, steak is just a medium for your A1 sowce. Now, first topic here. Kinda, I told you so. I'm sorry, though. I'm sorry for anybody that actually has HashFlare funds locked up. HashFlare shuts down Bitcoin mining services, and users struggle to withdraw funds. So HashFlare, the cryptocurrency cloud mining service that you've probably heard of by now, has shut down its Bitcoin mining service. Platform also terminated all related Bitcoin mining contracts. Who would have thought that that was coming when S9 miners were making $4 a day, and then, you know, $3.25 of your earnings for that day get taken away by electricity fees? Who would have thought? Citing lack of profitability in operation. Yeah. That's all I can say is who would have thought that this could happen? My second cryptocurrency video ever made was called "We Need to Talk About the Genesis Mining Ponzi Scheme," and like nobody watched that video. And I basically said this like going on a year ago now. I don't know, maybe like 8 months. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Either way, the price of Bitcoin, the top-rated cryptocurrency, struggled throughout 2018, declining by more than 60% since the start of the year. Now, mind you, just on a slightly positive note, I suppose if Bitcoin comes back to a pretty reasonable 12,000 plus level, maybe even 10,000, these mining contracts may come back, and it might not be a problem. But just the fact that they're taking all of your money and not giving it to you when profits are low, and you could just have your own S9 miner, which I don't recommend ASICs, but you could just have your own, and you would always be making that Bitcoin. Even if it cost you a little bit more in electricity to mine that Bitcoin, someday Bitcoin will go up in price, and it's your investment. But you don't even get that when HashFlare decides to just not give it to you. So here's a quote here. It said, we have made every possible effort in order to resolve the problem that has arisen. For instance, we have considered a variety of technical solutions which would have allowed us to lower expenses related to maintenance of electricity. However, due to the general instability of the market, the actions we have taken could not significantly influence the current situation. So they're just like, hey, we're out because the profits are down. They're not good enough for us. So we're out. I don't know, guy, about your guys' Bitcoin, but we're just going to save our own butts here. So according to HashFlare, payouts to users have been lower than maintenance fees for 28 consecutive days. Thus, the platform had no option but to terminate the service because their maintenance fees, it's basically 35 cents per terahash, okay, on HashFlare. So if you do the math there, with about 14.5 terahash for an S9 miner, maybe even 13, you're looking at well over $3.50 a day. Because it would be, if for just 10 terahash, it would be $3.50 a day. And you know, so if you had an S9 miner, 13.5, 14.5 terahash, somewhere around there, depends on the model, the batch that you got. You can see that that's, you know, going on well over $4 a day. And if you're only making $4 and some odd cents a day with an S9 miner, there goes your fees for HashFlare. But like I said, if you owned your own ASIC miner, at least you'd be getting that Bitcoin. You'd still be getting the Bitcoin, even if you're like, well, my electricity bill's so high, like it's starting to get hard to pay for it. You know, I'm having to pay out of my pocket. I can't just sell my Bitcoin. Well, that's, you know, that's up to you for you to handle that financial situation. But at the very least, you have your Bitcoin for a later day. If it goes back to 20,000, you go, oh, and you sell it, and then happy day, right? You know, you made your money back plus. But this, nah, just nah. Screw your Bitcoin. Before announcing the termination of its Bitcoin mining contract, HashFlare introduced new Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering protocols that restrict the ability of unverified customers to withdraw their funds. The proximity of the rules change to the mining contract cancellation hasn't gone down well with many of its customers. As a consequence, many users have their funds trapped in the system. Oh my, HashFlare. At it again. So yeah, don't use cloud mining contracts. That's why you've never seen a cloud mining contract like like Referral Link or me like shill one. It's just it doesn't make sense to me because you know, they're taking one you know, 1 terahash on HashFlare costs such and such. So if they have an S9 miner, one S9 miner, which they have many of, I'm sure, but you just take one, and if it's 14 terahash, you can split that up between 14 people and make them pay so much and really only give them a smaller amount than it actually makes the miner a day, and they're getting all of their money up front. You might as well just buy your own Bitcoin. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like growing a money tree and then selling that money out. Well, how can you make more money from a money tree that only produces a very certain, very specific amount of money every day, and actually slightly lowering because of difficulty, but we could throw all that out, right? So you have this money tree, it makes $100 a day, and you have to ask yourself, how do I make $150 a day out of this tree? And somebody could be like, well, you could parcel up the money that comes out, right? You could sell, it's $100 a day, but you could sell it to 10,000 people and give them all 10 cents a day, you know, or like 8 cents a day. And then, you know, you've got all this money up front, and the tree is eventually not going to make as much money as you need to pay out, but that's at a later date, so we don't have to worry about the future. Come on, why would we do that? Next article here, Bitcoin futures trading up 93%, reports CME Group. Oh, CME Group, you're like, which one is that? Which one is the CME Group? The ones that started up the futures, the ones that the next day. Oh yeah, let me just take you on the journey. I know we've been here before. Let me just take you. Come on. Let me take you on the journey. Let me show you what happens when you get futures contracts. When did they come out? The 17th? Oh my. Oh wow. It's just not going good. It's not looking good, guys. Oh no. And we have to come all the way back up. So eventually probably will come back up. You know, more than likely. We've been through this before, but did it help things? That's a resounding and pretty much objective no. So great. There have been mixed opinions about the success of Bitcoin-based futures options since their inception. Is there really? Why would there even be mixed opinions? Can you guys look at the chart and see what happened? I mean, people typically sell off around this time of year, but you know, it comes back. You know, at some point, oh, we're not even like, oh, we're not even that far yet. Oh, we even made it worse by stretching it out to today. So you could see what happens. It's not good. So futures trading has, however, also faced the same challenges as cryptocurrency markets as a whole, with hesitant institutional investor interest, a price and market capitalization decline, and global regulatory uncertainty. Despite the performance of cryptocurrency markets overall, Bitcoin futures trading has been increased interest and liquidity. Here's why. Because they all realize it's the bottom, and now they're betting that it's going to go up, and some people are going to put in some secret money. Secret money. I should do ASMR. Have you guys ever seen ASMR? YouTube ASMR right now. And all it is people speaking into the microphone like this. And people are obsessed with it. I have no... and they get like 50 million views for their videos while they whisper into the microphone. Am I just getting old? Are we getting old? Is this what actually happens? So somebody older than me, tell me in the comments down below, is this what happens when you get older? You start to find these trends that are coming out to be, you know, and then you feel like your parents, you know, or your grandparents, you're like, oh, grandpa, you're so old, you know, you don't like cell phones. You're like, I don't need no stinking dang cellular telephone. And you're like, oh, geez, you know, but, you know, don't like it. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next article. I gotta like this one. This one's good times. UK police, they cannot hodl. Oh no. So last year in April, Surrey, if I'm saying that right, police seized 295 bitcoins held by now convicted criminal Teresco. The wrongdoer is serving more than 9 years of jail time on charges of money laundering, possession and control of articles for fraud, and cultivation of cannabis. Oh no, not cannabis, not that horrible plant that poisons whole towns, and then it gets into the city water, and everybody can't stop eating for like 6 hours, and then they're like, oh, well, I guess I'll go to work now. Okay, so the police reportedly found a digital key to access the criminal's Bitcoin at his property, located in Cobham. Apart from that, the officers also found expensive items, gold bars, credits, because everybody's just got gold bars laying around the house. Why does every Bitcoin trader? Should I get gold bars like immediately? Like, I like gold, and I would love to invest in gold if I just have like a lot of extra money or something, I suppose. But man, like it seems like every criminal Bitcoin holder who was using Bitcoin illegally or doing something illegal and had all their Bitcoin sold, it's always like a bunch of gold bars too. Like it must be like the same kind of mindset that like people were like, I don't want to invest in fiat, I'm going to invest in gold because Alex Jones told me to, and gold's cool, like gold's a great investment, don't get me wrong, I'm not like totally bashing it, but like it's a pain, and like it's heavy. Like gold is dense and it's really heavy, and it's just a pain to move around, and people like to steal it, including police. So yeah, like don't keep your gold in your house or something. Keep it, I don't know, bury it or something. Anyway, so tech-savvy policemen. So the police sold the cryptocurrency back in October. So I don't know when they actually took it and seen how much last year in April. Okay, so April. Let's just see. Let's see how well they did. We'll go December 2017. We'll go 2017 here. So in April it was about 1,200, and they sold it. They sold it at 48.30. So that's pretty sick, actually. To be totally honest, I'm gonna, that's pretty good. But honestly, they probably weren't saying, hey, we're gonna wait for the value of this to increase. It was probably more of a legal process in order to like process all the Bitcoin and process all the case and convict and yada yada. I'm sorry, I'm not a policeman, but I'm sure there's a real long road before you can just auction off somebody's property after like convicting them, I would imagine, of legal loopholes. And then they're like, okay, like so now it's ours. It's officially ours. It's officially the state's or whatever. We can now sell it. So they sold it at 48.30, which is pretty sick considering it was 295 Bitcoin. So valued at 1.45 million pounds. Lawfully, the Surrey police gets to keep 18.8% of the proceeds, which is roughly around 273,000 pounds. Not bad, considering I think pounds are worth quite a bit more than the US dollar at the moment. I'm not sure. I think it's been like that for a little while. Money that the department can use on top of its current operating budget. Good for them, I suppose. If that's your thing, even though it's kind of the state taking somebody's Bitcoin, but we'll go with it. So anyway, ironically, just a few months after the police sold the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin went on to reach its all-time high, peaking at the beginning of January, just over 20,000. Should the Surrey Police Department have HODL? Ooh. Good one, HODL. Nice, clever twist. The cryptocurrency for a little while longer, they could have netted upwards of 800,000, and that's just their keep. So they could have definitely gotten quite a bit more out of that. So kind of funny, but I suppose you can't scoff at making 273 cool ones. I certainly wouldn't. I guess you could like kick yourself in the rear, like do a little kick up in the grass in your yard, and like kick yourself in the bottom. Be like, I could have had a lot more, but who could argue with 273 cool ones? 273,000 cool ones. Anyway, so let's move on to the next article. So Coinbase gets 20 billion Prime client and ads back on Facebook. So Coinbase has been focusing on big institutional money. And they launched a custodial service this month and earlier this year, establishing Coinbase Prime, so a suite of tools specifically designed for institutions. So basically, so they could trade better than us. Who'd have thought? It's like the topic of the day. So a 20 billion hedge fund has already signed up for the Prime business. So they got a 20 billion hedge fund. So that's pretty good. And Coinbase ads are back on Facebook, which is actually my focus of the article. I suppose institutional investing is okay. It might raise the price, excuse me, of cryptocurrency, but I'm skeptical of it because the one percenter Wall Street kind of deal is a stereotypical thing, cliche for a reason, because they're just gobbling up, with their billions and billions daily, and probably likely maybe trillions or something going through the entire Wall Street and world as a whole every day. And then, you're using your, $2,000 on Coinbase or something like that. So there's just no chance for you. And it's sort of like, well, we don't have a chance against the whales, the people, the millionaires or even the six-figure heirs that can buy dozens or hundreds or possibly thousands of ASICs. And create a warehouse and start just mining away and making a whole bunch of money. Or as you can see on the chart here, it looks like a small bit of manipulation. I don't know if that's manipulation or not, but the walls that you see, that's usually somebody buying or a lot of people buying all at once, a whole bunch, and it just shoots way up, and then they can kind of manipulate it to some degree that way. I suppose it's a stretch saying manipulation, and it's not really a stretch at all saying manipulation at the same time. Depends on how you look at it. So the company's also got good news on its retail side of the business with its promotional posts allowed back on Facebook, and that's a really good thing. That's going to get a lot of people, and collectively a lot of people is a lot of money. And Facebook, whether you like it or not, is huge. It's still huge. I know the whole information scandal with the election or whatever, the Cambridge Analytica, everybody started hating it because they took everybody's information. But, that's like not news to me. I don't think that should be news to anybody at this point. There comes a situation where you're like, okay, well, it's too much information, so you either leave Facebook or you just stay because you're like, I'm not really doing anything. So that's pretty good. So, the Facebook banned ads for crypto earlier this year. Proud to say that we've been whitelisted and are back introducing more people to an open financial system. So that's good. Looking at CoinMarketCap just before we go, I think somebody's trying to blow me up here on the phone. Bitcoin at 7,600. Everything's going up pretty good, but there were some whale purchases that I didn't really see die off after they were purchased. So that kind of leads me to a small problem in the sense that, sooner or later, this right here, this little bar is probably going to get sold off. Now, is it always just one person doing that? No, that's not the case. But a lot of times when you see that, you end up seeing the dip almost of equal proportion right after that. So everything's looking good, though. Don't mean to be too negative, but, just got to be... you just got to understand that it's just not always the case. It's not just time to super jump in with everything. Make sure you're still watching the market, just being careful with your trades. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.